Hi, I'm Phil Rude, and this is my 100 Days of Making Comics, days 66 through 71, over 70 days now, and feeling really good about it. I am getting my half-hour a day in pretty easy, doing much past that. Right now has been a little bit challenging just because I've been doing a lot of work to my house. My regular job has been really busy. Life has just sort of kicked up, and I think we all know how that goes. Things ebb and flow a little bit. And also when that is happening and you do get a free moment, sometimes it is good to not spend it working. If you can sit and get your extra time in by and really have the mindset of enjoying it, that's great. If you are doing it because you know you need to get your extra time in, sometimes you do have to do that, but sometimes it's good to take a little bit of time off and relax. Again, I've talked several times in this series about the possibility of burnout and making sure that doesn't happen. Last night, was a Saturday night. It was relatively cool for South Florida in March. And with some of the recent yard work that I've done, I have built an impromptu fire pit, which is going to get better over time, but it was good enough last night for burning stuff. So that's what I did. We started a fire. Me and my family sat out by the fire and just enjoyed being outside. I talked last video about getting outside and finding your balance that way. Sitting by the fire is one of those things I've always found it really relaxing, really calming, and kind of another one of those going outside reset buttons. So I made sure I made some time for that. I got a good night's sleep, and I woke up and did about an hour and a half on the boards this morning, on the drawing board this morning. So I did get a lot of time in today. I'm going to go back and get some more stuff done later. Still having a bit of a lazy Sunday, plus getting work done. Again, good balance. And keeping that. Keeping that as a not primary, sort of a secondary focus of this challenge. One thing I'm learning to do is to form the habit of doing comics every day, which is, I think, what Kevin Cross started this challenge and made it all about. But something else I'm sort of putting into practice is finding balance every day. So that is a happy side effect of this challenge. What I want to talk about primarily today is community, the importance of community, and whether you find it in a group like the 100s, the sort of loose collection of artists that has sprung up around this challenge. And I'm not a real active member of that community, but I am sort of, I keep an eye on it. I'm kind of on the outskirts of it. Met some really cool people through there. And it's cool to see what other people are doing with this challenge, what their projects are. Just sort of spider webbing out from my regular place and meeting some more people, meeting them in the comics community, which is another one. I've read comics most of my life. I have drawn comics for on and off for 10 or 12 years, I guess. But I've never been super active in the comics community for reasons I don't need to get into the ups and downs of that online comics community in here. But as time has gone on, I have met more and more of the indie comics community, less of the real industry and more of the indie community, and more of that is focused on the work. I've talked about that before in these series as well. The importance of keeping your head down and doing the work. And I feel like the indie comics community is so focused on that. No matter what is going on in the larger industry, it is more and more about the work and improving through that. And that is a community I'm enjoying in the indie comics community. The other big community I want to shout out, and I am not going to mention names here because it's less about not wanting to call people out, but I also know myself enough to know you're going to forget some people, and, and then people are going to feel like they are on the outskirts of whatever, that I've forgotten them, that they're not important to me, where the reality is I just have a horrible memory for names. But I just want to talk about a greater creative community. I am friends with people in the podcasting world, with writers, with other artists who are not, necessarily comics artists, with musicians, creative people of all stripes. And I was talking to a friend of mine last week, and he's a writer, and we were talking about just sort of the idea that we've known each other for a few years now, and we're able to look back and sort of mark each other's progress. We're sort of at a point now where we are able to kind of look back and go, you've really improved a lot over this amount of time. And he says, you've really come a long way too. And this challenge has taken you a long way. And it's just, I'm at a point now where I'm able to mark my own improvement, but I'm also able to look around at other people that I've known for a long time and see their improvement over time, and also see them starting to have measures of success, whether they be just small things like getting a project off the ground, or bigger things like having something optioned, having a publisher pick something up. Different. I don't want to call out specific projects and allude to things that I probably don't know as much about as I like to think I do. But just being able to see people around you have a measure of success, and that feels really good, because at one point or another, we're all at similar points in our career, and you find those people, whether they do the same discipline as you or not, you find those people who are kind of at similar places in their career. And the term I used when I was talking to my friend was a class. You feel like you're in sort of a class of creatives, and that you're kind of coming up together, and you're sort of, you're not competing, but you all make each other better. He has said, I'm going to stop beating around the bush and tell you my friend is J.F. Dubois. He is an author and an artist, and just a super cool guy and a super nice guy. And he's always been really encouraging to me. And he said to me on more than one occasion, we all lean on each other, and that's how we improve together. Or something along, I'm paraphrasing, but it's something along those lines of, the support and encouragement that you get from the rest of your quote unquote class is what raises you up. It raises the stakes of everything, and it sort of propels everybody forward. Rising tide raises all ships. It's somewhere along those lines. And it is important, I think, whether you're involved in the community of comics, the community of indie comics, the podcasting community, whatever, or just a sort of loose collective of creative people. Whatever it is, I think it's important to have at least a couple people that you can lean on, who will shoot you straight about, hey, you're doing this great. Maybe work on this because this isn't working for me as much. And, people that you trust, people that you respect their work, they respect yours. It is a kind of community I am thankful that I am doing this work in the internet age for, because it's so easy. It's so easy now to kind of find your people. You got to wait around. You got to meet a lot of people. You got to figure out who's who. Some people you're closer with than others, but eventually you'll start gravitating towards your people. And it just improves everybody's work. You do it partially for selfish reasons because you want to improve, and partially because you'll just find some benefit in being members of that community. And I really think it's important to go out and find those people. On a final note of that, I have in the last 6 months kind of felt like a terrible community member because I've really scaled back on the amount of social media that I participate in. And I've done that largely for my own mental health. I found myself staring at a screen too many times. I found myself wasting a lot of time. I found myself getting stressed. The political aspect of some of these things, the fallout and trolling and this and that and the other. And I took some social media apps off my phone and just really consciously scaled back. And I am better for that. I will say, I'm not thinking of anybody right now. So I will say that without exception, anybody that I have explained, hey, sorry, I haven't been around. I've really just taken a step back from social media and focused on my work. To a person, every single one has completely understood where I am. I think we all understand the toll that social media can take on people. And they have said, hey, no big deal. We know you're around. We know that you're available through messaging and things like that. And has been really cool about it. So members of my community have really, the community that I am a part of, it is legit. It is legit encouragement and support and friendship with peers. And really cannot stress how valuable that is and what a great tool of the internet that is. That's about all I have to say on the subject. I can ramble on, and we can all hold hands and sing "You're My Best Friend" by Queen, if it makes us all feel better. But to be real serious about it, I meant all of this. And I really believe that everybody should strive to find their people. I think it makes you better creators and put somebody in our corners as we go. Let me know about your experience with community in the comments. Just let me know what benefits have you found, because I'm sure I missed a few just talking about my own experience here. Let me know how you're doing with the 100 Days Challenge. Some of you guys and girls who are working on the anthology for the 100s. I see some of your work. It's looking amazing. Seriously. It's one of those things. I did not start at the same time as you. I had not done it before, but I'm kind of like, man, I should have got on this train a little bit earlier. And I'm hoping to catch the anthology maybe next time around. But big shoes to fill. Let me know how you're doing and plug your projects. Read The Adventures of Professor Whiskers, online webtoon. It is my ongoing webcomic about a cat mad scientist who battles dinosaurs. Check it out and let me know what you think. I will talk to you guys next time.